Unless you live under a rock, you have heard about the increase, the significance of anxiety in our society. And what's making researchers more and more concerned is that we're seeing anxiety in kids younger and younger. We're seeing the signs that are diagnosable. But in adults, it's important that if you're one of those people that you worry about your anxiety, there is such a thing as high functioning anxiety. And that kind of worry, not all worry is created equal. And that's the kind that actually can help you at work, help you at home. And although it may be annoying to your partner, it's probably good for your relationship too, because part of it is your overthinking, your visionary. And those two things and showing up on time are very important to someone who has high functioning anxiety as they are in a relationship. They usually bode well for you. The problem with high functioning anxiety is when people get really set in their mind, and part of it is overthinking. This is a form of the behavior that comes from high functioning. They can convince themselves that this is something worse. They're fretting too much. And if you take high functioning anxiety and you continue to ruminate about the thoughts and think about your anxiety, it can turn into a different kind of anxiety that is high functioning. And I think right now, part of the problem with kids having anxiety is because we, the adults, have high functioning maybe, but we're thinking about it so much that it's turning into a more diagnosable form. And our kids may be manifesting that. They may be acting that out. Because if your children are watching you, you are their biggest influencer. Don't forget that. And it can make a huge impact. So let's talk about the characteristics of high functioning anxiety, the kind that isn't a problem. It isn't a mental disorder. Okay, you're a perfectionist. You're punctual, sometimes even early, most of the time early. You're highly organized. You're overachievers. You're detail oriented. And you're proactive. You can see how these could benefit you in a career, in your life in general. But underneath this surface are the feelings that are yuck, and they are overthinking, overanalyzing, fear of disappointing or angering others, self-doubt, obsessively checking details, racing thoughts, or inability to relax. You know when you go on vacation, if it takes you 2 or 3 days to calm down and relax, more than likely you're a high-functioning anxious person. When I look at different opportunities, different fields, I see a lot of people who have high-functioning anxiety. They don't need to go to a therapist, but unless they're talking to their kids and they're really impressing upon them or their partner, listen, I'm in control of this. It's just that this is how I run. They used to classify these people as type A, but just because you have a high functioning anxiety does not mean you're type A. Type A has an anger component that a lot of high functioning anxious people do not have. And so I think that's a very clear marker, and you have to be aware of that. So let's talk about what happens if you don't handle or you don't accept high functioning anxiety and you just let it overtake you in rumination and thoughts. Well, you can develop a generalized anxiety disorder. Then you can develop a social anxiety disorder. These are all in the DSM-5 revised. These are all parts of actual diagnosable anxiety. Major depressive disorder can cause persistent thoughts about this, and it's one of the things they have to evaluate. Obsessive compulsive disorder. And when you have something like this, it is diagnosable. At that point, you may need a medication. But more than likely, if you're high functioning anxious, you aren't going to have that. As long as you have tactics built in that are going to help you stay calm, help you recenter. And these are some of those. You need to take little breaks, mini breaks. You might not be able to go to a yoga class in the middle of the day or go for a run, but you can take a 10-minute break and breathe. Learning to breathe, learning to meditate, learning to, have ice on the roof of your mouth so that you can calm down. It kind of grounds you. Anything that grounds you back to the present, back to your place, is going to help you manage your anxiety. The number one thing is to learn how to breathe slowly and exhale even slower. These are little tips you can use and continue your high functioning anxiety, because it is a plus. It is a plus for you in your job, in your home life. So there's nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, when it feels really yuck, when you're overthinking and overanalyzing and you're trying to date or trying to go to sleep at night, those are not times you want to have that. You want to have the capabilities and the strategies to calm back down, and you want to be able to talk to your kids about theirs so they understand what's happening, and rather than fearing it, they will work with it. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.